days before ZANU-PF hold its conference. But in my view, will this conference actually usher in a change or maintain the current status quo? I think, in my own view, I'm not only focusing on this conference, but this conference may actually give us pointers into the political future of Zimbabwe. The environment in Zimbabwe at the moment is, highly charged. And I must tell you that the attention at the moment is on retired General Chiwenga as Mnangagwa beckons to try and contain him. I think those who can pray, it's high time you pray for the men, because it's quite clear that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is after a retired General Chiwenga, and is desperate to try and pin him down, because to him it's a matter of death and life. And the question is, will he succeed? And does he, is it a matter of retired General Chiwenga only demanding that the current status quo has to go, or there is actually a lot of people behind retired General Chiwenga, and the struggle may not even fail if ZANU-PF actually may do anything to him. But from the look of things, Mnangagwa, is desperate to actually get rid of retired General Chiwenga. I'll be demonstrating why I say so. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Pan Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we be live, you become the very first one to watch us. Now, let's look at how Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa wants to get retired General Chiwenga. Now, if you look what he did by Xing the those around retired General Chiwenga, those believed to be around retired General Chiwenga, for example, the Secretary General Opet Mpofu, and also the Director General of ZANU-PF. I saw the state media waited for us to actually give you this information in order for them to cover the story today, that indeed Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa has also asked the Director General of ZANU-PF. So at the moment, I must tell you, the atmosphere is not looking good. The political atmosphere is around, they are trying to isolate politically retired General Chiwenga. So when retired General Chiwenga was going into the ZANU-PF conference, he expected to go with individuals like Opet Mpofu if they were indeed his supporters. He expected to go with individuals like Stembi Sonyoni. He expected to go with individuals like the Director General of ZANU-PF. But Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is going after those people. Now, the purpose is to try and intimidate him, and not to end up actually maybe boycotting the ZANU-PF National Conference. We saw this is the tactic that was used by Robert Gabriel Mugabe during the days of Joyce Mujuru. That is what is at play at the moment. But now he is dealing with a very, very smart individual, someone who does not act with emotions. I think maybe if it was another person looking at what the faction of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa has been doing so far, he would have used emotions to respond. This is what they have been trying to provoke out of him. They sent individuals like Themba Mliso, who are always provoking retired General Chiwenga. He has been trying so hard, burning his house, that on retired General Chiwenga. The songs are about 2030 mantra, and also bringing Wicknell Chivayos in front of retired General Chiwenga, to provoke a response so that he may actually justify acting on retired General Chiwenga. But Chiwenga is just watching them and saying, let me just see how this game will actually end. So all eyes at the moment, especially from the people of Zimbabwe, according to my analysis, everyone is actually looking at retired General Chiwenga on how he is going to respond at the current. Mnangagwa has already identified him as an enemy. The fact that there is a leaked intelligence report identifying retired General Chiwenga as an enemy by deciding not to support the 2030 mantra, that on its own is an indication that behind the scenes, Mnangagwa as well as Zwikanandas are working so very, very hard to try and get rid of retired General Chiwenga. In fact, he has been trying for the rest the terms that he has been serving as the president. But I guess by God's grace, the man has remained alive. I'm sure when he came back to China after they tried tactics to eliminate him alongside other military generals, it was a shock to Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. So I must say the struggle of retired General Chiwenga seems to have some form of a mysterious force behind it because others did not survive. Others were eliminated, as quickly as possible, especially during the time of the COVID-19. But retired General Chiwenga remains, and he is still resolute about what he said, especially in 2017 when Robert Gabriel Mugabe was removed. Remember, what was the dream of the military then? It was actually to fight, to get someone who would be willing to root out corruption. But Mnangagwa has actually escalated corruption to the levels that have never been seen and experienced in Zimbabwe. So it's a failed cause. That is why everyone is looking at retired General Chiwenga. And even Blessed Geza has actually sent the message to him that the people of Zimbabwe are actually tired and they are looking at you on whether you are going to act and remove the men you brought to power or but from the look of things, I think there is determination and zeal from retired General Chiwenga to actually fight against corruption. What is fighting against corruption? Getting rid of the Zwikanandas and also uprooting Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa because he is the godfather of corruption. You cannot separate Mnangagwa from Zwikanandas. It will be just like we couldn't separate the corrupt elements around Robert Gabriel Mugabe. It is equally so. We cannot separate Mnangagwa, with the Zwikanandas because at the center of this corruption is the family of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Now, the mind-boggling question is, as Mnangagwa and what he is aiming at, and he is doing so as ZANU-PF prepares for its conference. We know that there are a lot of plans that have been put in place by Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa to try and embarrass and make retired General Chiwenga to feel uncomfortable, though some of the plans have been actually, they have tried to try and thwart them, especially the faction of retired General Chiwenga. But Mnangagwa keeps on actually eyeing those people who are resisting that. That is why the National Director General of ZANU-PF was actually fired because part of his role was trying to thwart everything that Mnangagwa intended to do, which was aiming at harming retired General Chiwenga. So he has brought individuals like Jacob Mutenda, very, very corrupt, unethical, who can actually do anything for money, and he has been at the job. He is, it's quite scary because that was a political move, but Also, it will be upsetting to undermine retired General Chiwenga and think that he cannot see, he doesn't know, or he has not analyzed what is politically obtaining at the moment in Zimbabwe. The man knows very, very well. Remember, he dealt with the man who was more dangerous than Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, someone who was very intelligent, an intelligent detector who had mastered the art of detectorship for years, and he had roots, and everybody thought that person was not going to, nothing was going to be done to him except maybe to vacate this Mother Earth. But retired General Chiwenga, against all odds, during the last moment, he made a very, very critical decision. And at this moment, can he fail also to equally do so? I don't think so. He is a smart man. I think it's just a matter of time. Let's. If I mean, if I began to actually begin to develop some confidence, especially the fact that out of the whole Politburo of ZANU-PF, he can stand up and confront Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa in front of everyone, surrounded by people who are hostile to him. Look at them, and even those who try to take from Mnangagwa, sit them down, and afterwards walk out, and the whole faction gets to run all over the country like headless chickens, not, sure of what they are doing. That shows that he is a man with balls. Single-handedly handling the Politburo and actually changing the goalpost, the focus to be on what he said. And if you look at Mnangagwa's plans, the plans that were revealed, all of those plans have been thwarted, most of them. They haven't been executed the way he wanted them to be executed because of the actions of retired General Chiwenga. I strongly believe that even if Mnangagwa may try to alienate him from his comrades who are actually sympathetic to him, it doesn't mean anything. He's a man who can actually feature in and make a big deal out of the ZANU-PF conference in Mutare. So we are yet to see things, I can assure you, and beyond, until this of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa is done and dusted. It's it's coming to an end. The way things have been done and the way things are happening, it's a point that this regime is almost towards its end. But they cannot see that. They cannot even prepare for that, most probably because of what the atrocities they have done to the people, and some of them which are consequential, and they have to face the music. Sometimes they have to be this ruthless even towards their last days, so that when they are uprooted, at least they get to face the music of what they politically did. So all eyes are at retired General Chiwenga at the moment. I can tell you Mnangagwa is having sleepless nights. The bedroom of Mnangagwa is having sleepless nights because of this man. You have seen the whole of this week. It was one plan after another to try and actually pin him down, but all efforts to do so have done absolutely nothing but to put the man, in fact, to sanitize. Instead of them taking him down, they have sanitized the man. If you look, even the profile of retired General Chiwenga, it has improved significantly. And individuals like Themba Mliswa were bought to actually take the man down. Now everyone is looking at him and seeing a polished retired General Chiwenga. So as we approach the ZANU-PF conference, I must tell you, it's going to be explosives, and all eyes are at Chiwenga. I strongly believe, even if he is isolated, him alone is enough to deal with Mnangagwa, as well as all those around him who are busy making noise. In fact, they are piecemeals, all those. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch.